I'm sure you used watercolor pencils before, but have you ever graded them like this? Stick around. This hack completely changes the way you can layer abstract mixed media. So we have a variety of these Arrtx pencils and some colors that I liked. So we're just going to take our strainer here. And you also need a paper towel. So the basic concept here, we're going to take our strainer. You could use sandpaper if you want. And we're just going to lay down some colors. This is just the light blue. I've got a variety of blues here. Actually, let's put some more over here. I'm just going to kind of lay them down. Then we're just going to start rubbing in the pigment into our paper. I am using hot press paper today. You could probably use uh, cold press paper if you wanted. I haven't tried it on cold press paper yet. This is a technique that I learned from Francois over at Painting and Chocolate. Her channel is amazing. She does lots of cool things with watercolor pencils and Inktense. So there we kind of have our base. Let's put in a little bit more. I just kind of want to get like a lot of, I'm going to do another layer here. Kind of want to leave some white space. I've only done this one time, so I'm kind of trying to figure out the best ways to use it. So we're just going to keep rubbing. You could use your finger, but I found that the paper towel actually works better to distribute the pigment, the watercolor pigment, in a very interesting way. So I like what we got going on there. Let's add some of this goldy color. These Arrtx pencils don't have names, so there'll be no naming. And she uses sandpaper on her videos. I tend to like the strainer better. I think I feel like there's less waste with the strainer. When you use the sandpaper, like so much of it gets trapped in the paper. It just kind of, oh, I just broke my pencil. So much gets trapped in the paper. Just use a little bit, the little end. Waste not, want not, right? Maybe I over sharpened. That could be a problem. Okay. Let's rub some more, and then we're gonna do after this is spray some water. So you want to stick around and make sure you watch the next part, because that's the magical part of this whole process. And this is just layer one. I'm probably going to come back in, obviously, with other mixed media, because that's what we do here. Okay, I want a little bit more of that green. This is really fun. It's actually very relaxing to sit around and grate some pencils. I think I'm going to try some Inktense over this after we get everything sort of, we get all the pigment that we want on here. Oh, I wanted to add in, I want to add in a little bit of this sort of purpley color too. You can see that I'm kind of trying to build the space and the layers of where I want the pigment to be, so it's not all random. Trying to be more intentional with how I'm grading these watercolor pencils. Ooh, that's fun. Look at that color. A little bit of red through there. Okay. I think we're almost ready for the magical part. I mean, it looks pretty cool right now. Like, just kind of where it's at. Okay. This is my spray bottle. We're just gonna spray some water on there. Now, here's the thing. You can come in with a brush and move the pigment around. Or you can just let it dry. It kind of has like this really cool pointillist thing going on here. But you know me, I'm going to come in. This is my dagger brush. And I'm going to push a little bit of this pigment around. I'm not going to do broad strokes because I don't want it to all be the same, if that makes sense. So I'm being very gentle with it. I don't really want it to be, I don't want to cover everything and make everything smooth either. What happens if we come in with a bit of a palette knife and make some marks through here? And can we scrape away? Oh, we can scrape away. Look at that. We can make marks scraping away. Kind of give some definition to what we already have there. We could probably come back in and also just use some watercolor marks like we normally would with the watercolor pencils. I think I want this to be a little bit more smooth down here. So I'm going to come in with a pretty damp brush. And I'm just going to kind of feel my way through here and see. I like some of that pointillist kind of imagery we got going on there. Those marks are really cool. But I think I want something a little bit more. It needs to be a little bit more defined, I think. What happens if we come in with our color shaper? Because I think we can, yeah, pull down some of these marks. I like how it's kind of blending together there. Pull down some marks and kind of leaving some of this pigment because I think the texture is really wonderful. And it's something that I would probably do with, tinted charcoal. It reminds me of that sort of technique that I use sometimes to mix media. Ooh, that's fun. I like those marks through there. Okay. I think I'm going to let this dry. And then we're going to come back in and see what we've got. Because we could go back over it. I'm going to go back over it with a little bit of watercolor. Or I might add some Inktense over top. So these are the Derwent Graphitint. I just remembered that I had them. I don't use them very often. They are colored graphite pencils. And I thought it might be kind of fun to put some marks in with that. So let's get out this sort of chestnut color. And let's just see if we can add marks over top or what that's going to look like. I'm just going to do a little bit here to start. They should work in the same way as the watercolor pencils. Yeah, they're kind of working. It's kind of working a little bit. It's kind of hard to see because they're very similar colors. It's really subtle, but I like it. Okay. I was going to use the Inktense, but I know those are very intense colors. I'm not sure that I want that for this piece. And I'm not sure I'm even going to wet. I'm definitely going to wet them. But you can see that's a really fun way to add more color. This is the cool gray from Graphitint. I want to put some of that up here, I think, in the sky area. The paper towel is getting really gross. The Graphitints are very light, so it's kind of hard to see what's going on there a little bit. But I kind of like how it's bringing in some grays into this area. It's almost like calming it down a little bit. I'm just thinking about how I'm going to reactivate what I've already got going on here. This is a cool brown. Might be getting too carried away here, but ooh, that's a nice color. I hope you guys can see that on the camera because it's a little light over here. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna spritz it a little bit with water again, just to kind of see what happens. And it really changed a lot of what's going on there. I think we need more color shaper, maybe. Really see that chestnut through there. Like, it's really, when it's activated, like, it gets pretty bright. I think they dry lighter. It's been a minute since I used my Graphitint pencils. But I kind of like what's going on here. I like the color shaper. I like pulling down through here and kind of making some unexpected textures so it's not all uniform. I'm trying to spread it out a little bit. I like that going through there, so I'm not going to mess with that. And really, we're spraying it to activate the pigment so that it will adhere to the paper better. I think I need a brush for this. So I'm just going to come in with this sort of big, floppy, moppy brush. It's dry. I might spritz a little bit more. So I want a little water on there, but I don't want it to... I'm trying not to disturb all of the layers. Like, I kind of like some of the texture going on, but I think there might be a little bit too much in the sky. And this is just a big, fluffy, moppy brush. Don't dip it because it holds a lot of water. It's great for big paintings. This thing holds like so much pigment and so much water. It is a 1-inch Princeton mop brush for those of you at home. And I don't know where I got it. I've had this brush forever. It works for everything. It's just such a nice little blending tool almost. Okay. I feel like I want some more white up there though. Okay, I've mixed up a little bit of sepia with some ochre here. Pull this over so you can see it. I made this sort of brown color. I just want to put a mark coming through, I think, like, I need some definition through here. I like what's going on. I'm not trying to get rid of all of it, which I kind of just did. But because watercolor is transparent, you can see those layers below. And we're going to scrape back in and add some fun marks. You know, guys know I love to make marks. I'm a scratcher awayer. And I think this is really going to help give us a little bit more shape and continuity and interest. Because everything's the same. Like, all of your marks are the same. It's going to look very flat. We don't want that. We want a dynamic painting that people can look at and go, wow, look at all those marks and interest and fabulousness that's going on. Okay, I think we need something else up here. So here I've mixed up a little bit of the yellow ochre, a little bit of the cad light, and some sepia. I know my palette is a hot mess. I would clean it, but I don't want to waste all that good paint. I don't want to waste paint. I'm just going to kind of bring it through here a little bit and maybe down through here. I want some of that color down here. And maybe just a little bit. Okay, let's come back in with a palette knife. Ooh, that's fun. Bringing back some light, bringing back some texture. Just sort of making new marks that are going to shine through. Okay. Okay, I've decided that we need some Inktense bark. I'm not gonna grate it. I'm just gonna put down some marks. I feel like I want some definition coming through here, and you can already see that the Inktense, it just is so fabulous. I did get a little wet, so I want to make some pretty bold marks through here. They say that the Inktense dries permanent. I have had it lift a few times. Not a lot. It's not been major. I'm kind of a little bit with the color shaper. And now I'm just trying to bring in some definition and some interest. It was getting a little dark or a little flat as far as the light goes. Remember, you need dark to enhance the light. We just can't put down black marks and expect it to do anything. So we need, you can tell already that everything comes forward just a little bit with the addition of that. What other color do we have? I really like this Baked Earth is another one of my favorites. It gets that a little wet. And I'm just going to put some of that through here. Also, the Inktense are pretty pigmented and intense colors. So they can really give you some much needed variety and pops of color in your work. And always think about your mark making and what kind of marks you like to make. I like more of the scribbly marks in my work. I wish they had a yellow ochre, but I don't have that color. Maybe they have one and I need to find it. But I don't have one on hand. Where is my palette knife? Let's just scrape back in a little bit with the palette knife. Ooh, that's a fun mark. Ooh, I like how that orange is kind of coming through there. Okay, I want more of the baked earth over here. And these are all water-soluble pigments. So they all play well together. So you don't have to worry about putting down a layer of gesso or anything like that. They really do blend well together. I want some of this baked earth by this color up here. Let's see, we're adding light in by scraping away. Making some cool marks. And you know what? The thing is about this is that if you mess it up, if you don't like the mark you make, you can just paint over it. There's no risk. There's no risk involved here. Just be adventurous. Okay, let's let this dry. So I picked 4 colors of oil pastel. I've got white, ochre, this sort of purpley color, and this light blue color. I'm going to start with a little bit of the white up here in the sky area. And I really just want to bring some more light in here. I don't want to cover everything up. That's not my intention here. I'm just going to try to make some wispy clouds almost. I was out running errands early. The clouds were very wispy, and I kind of wanted to bring that element in here and lighten up the sky a little bit. Just using my finger because it works better that way sometimes. I want to bring it down just a little bit more. I love using oil pastels over watercolor in my mixed media pieces. Just adds a little bit more vibrancy to it. Okay, let's come in with some of this yellow ochre. We've got a little bit of it going on here. I just want to add a little bit more. Ooh, that was fun. That was a good mark. I love a good mark. I think I'm going to leave it over here, but I kind of want to just scratch it out a little bit over on the side. Because I want some of that brown to show through. But I do like how dark that mark is, or how bold that yellow is right through there. I'm going to add a little bit more over here. We're not trying to cover everything up. We're just trying to add some more pops of vibrant areas to kind of bring the flow back down. I don't know if I'm going to leave that line for now. I don't know if I want to keep it. Let's use a little bit of this sort of purpley red color. I think it's going to look really nice next to this brown. I don't want a lot of it, but it's probably needs to come down a little bit over here. Let me smooth it out a little bit and also make some chunkier marks. Probably need that to come all the way through. Let's scrape back in. You can see how it adds dimension to what we've already got going on through here. Why is there glitter on my page? When did I get glitter? I love glitter, but it gets everywhere. Oh, it's probably left over from that silver paint that I used last time. Probably just escaped a little bit. We got the yellow ochre here. Let's put in a little bit more of this. Sort of blending the ochre with. So we've got like a few layers of that. I'm going to put a little bit more up here. Just a little bit of red up there to kind of bring our eye around. I think it needs more ochre through here. And remember that if you use oil pastels, you will have to spray a fixative. I like the Carmar varnish, and also a coat of UV spray, just to be on the safe side. I'm not sure how light fast the watercolor pencils are. I'm going to say not at all. That's just my guess because you can't really find information about those anywhere. I think we need like more of this burnty orange. I don't think I'm going to use this blue. We might need to add some white down here. Just a little bit. I'm not sure if I like that or not. Let's blend it out and see what we get. I just wanted some little bits of white. Kind of just coming through here a little bit. Yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like the white through there. But now I'm thinking I want to put maybe a little bit more up here. Okay, I gotta clean up my palette knife. It's getting a little gunky. Okay. Yeah, I think this might be good. Let's do... I'm gonna let some of that blue shine through. I know you're probably like, you're taking it all away, but look at that wonderful mark that we get there. Don't be afraid to scrape things away. If I just scraped away my favorite mark, put that back in. See, even I do that. I'll scrape something away and then hate it and have to go back. Okay, I like that. I think that's good. Now I'm just being fussy. I might want some yellow over here. The other thing I would recommend too is when you get ready to put the oil pastels on, don't bring out your entire pastel box. Just get a few colors that you think might work, because honestly, I'll tell you that I would use every color that I possibly could if given the opportunity, and you want your pieces to be cohesive and not like sporadic and crazy. Okay, a little deli paper here and a brown pastel. I'm gonna want to make some marks and then we'll be done with our piece today. Just want to bring some marks through here. I didn't really want to do black today. I thought that might be too much. I just kind of want to make these shapes through here. Actually, that needs to, let me just scrape back in a little bit. Last thing I want to do is I'm going to come in with the Inktense black and just make this mark a little bit more defined and a little bolder. You guys know I love a bold black mark. Does it need to be more? I don't know. Kind of like that. Okay, let's look at it with the matte. Okay, here it is with the matte. I like this a lot. I love all the textures and layers that we created. I really love this sort of area up here in the sky with the watercolor pencils. I think it added just a really fun texture to everything up here. I like the white pastel that we put in as well. I like the texture down here a lot. And this, of course, is really fabulous. I think there's a lot of good layers. I think we got, you can still see some of the layers that we put down with the watercolor and with the watercolor pencils. And also the oil pastels just bring it all to life. I like the flow of everything coming through here and the sky. Overall, I'm very happy with this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you try using watercolor pencils in this way? I think it's kind of a fun little hack, kind of mixed media hack. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on Saturday with another video. Thanks so much. Bye.